Hi guys, and it's 10, so today I'm going to read Run for Freedom, written by Catherine Foley, illustrated by Reggie Ramsey. First question: After the English feeling exchange had a story, what do you think this is? Well, let's save this question for the story. Let's save it to make you curious. But don't tell me that you're gonna skip it. Start at the beginning. This story is gonna be very interesting if you do. If you think it's boring. Arsenal, activist, flea, fugitive, goalie, hounds, inn, murder, network, plantation, scent, shackles, throbbing. Running. It was too dark outside. Usually we got up before the sun rose, but I could tell that it was too early for my father to be shaking my arm. Daniel, he whispered. No, I groaned. I have been picking cotton all day. I could still feel my fingers throbbing as I tried to wave my father away. He picked me up by the arms and carried me outside. Shh, now, he said, and I fell asleep again. Daddy was the carriage driver for Mr. and Mrs. Winter, our enslavers. My mom had taken care of little Mary Winters, but Mary was grown now, and Mama was gone. I must have murdered my sleep because I heard Daddy say, shh, again. I woke up and saw our trees. I heard soft footsteps all around. And I looked over my shoulder and saw the bent back and shoulders of Emmy, another field worker on the cotton plantation. She walked with her head down, moving at a very quick pace. Can I get down? I asked my father. Emmy whipped her head around and gave me a cold look. She put her fingers to her pursed lips and kept moving. Suddenly, I realized what was going on. We were running. Mama was sold a few years ago when I was still too young to work in the fields. Mrs. Winters used to send me to the local inn where I did cleaning. The inn paid me for my work, but I had to take the money right home and give it to Mrs. Winters. She will count every cent and tell Mama to spend me good if she thought even one penny was missing. Mama would make it look like she was doing what she was told, but she would just tell me lightly. I would yell and cry like it really hurt. That seemed to make Mrs. Winters happy. One night I came home from the inn as usual. It had been a windy day and the dark had blown out of my hands. Mrs. Winters noticed the missing money right away. She called in the cook and told her to spank me hard. The cook didn't know about Mama's trick, so she spanked me as hard as she could. I yelled and cried for real. After it was over, I asked the cook where Mama had gone. Well, Mistress Mary is about grown now. I suppose they sold your mama to someone near her, she said. I felt like her heart fell down a deep well and lay on the bottom with a cold splash. Danny's eyes looked hollow when I got back to our one-room shack. He said only one thing about Mama being sold. Someday, we're going to be free, and we'll find her. That day of freedom was today. The barn. Haul in, Emmy said. She pointed across a field at an old sagging barn, and we went inside. She followed around the door until she found a trapdoor. She motioned us all into a small space under the floor. Everyone had to lie down in order to fit. Emmy closed the door behind her, and it was silent. Eventually, I leaned over Daddy. Do you have to stay here all day? He nodded and put his fingers to his lips. Sleep, he said. It didn't think I could sleep. I still felt like I had energy running through all my muscles. Soon we will find Mama. But it kept still. Sunlight began to beat through the boards above us. Fear began to thump over our heads. I could tell that all of us were scared. No one was sleeping. We heard the other enslaved people talking as they worked. Did they know we were here? I almost wished that I could peek my head through the trapdoor and whisper, "Come with us. Come and be free." But it kept silent, and they kept working. The goalie. The hours last a long time when you're crouched in an uncomfortable position. But finally, at night fell. The noises from the barn had been silent for some time, but we still waited. Finally, Emmy pushed open the door, and a gust of the sweetest fresh air in the world came rolling down into that tiny space. She led us into the woods again, and we all began walking. I was so happy to be out of that cramped space that I began to run. The others started going faster too. And we came to a dark road and started hopping, skipping, and jumping. Someone in the back even giggled. We were going to be free. I could feel the cold air from the north pouring down to me and making my legs springy and light. Suddenly, I heard a sound that made every inch of my skin feel like ice. Hounds! Someone's coming after us. We all looked at Emmy. Goalie, she whispered. She went leaping through the trees, and we leaped after her. We rushed down a steep hill until I reached his swampy water. It got deeper and deeper. It was covered by my thighs and then my chest. Dad pulled me up on his shoulders. It looked like we were in trouble. We could swim, but Emmy led us toward the opposite shore. There were stumps sticking out of the water, and if we stood still under the pale moonlight, our heads would look more than stumps, especially to someone cross the swamp. We heard the abandoned house come crashing down the gully. They came to the edge of the swamp where water kept the dogs from following our scent. The dogs sounded roared like they wanted to charge across the swamp and attack us. Then I heard the sound of a shotgun loading. The roar of the gun swept across the water and echoed back. It startled me so badly I made a beat before I could stop it. Emmy's hand swiftly and silently came up and closed over my mouth. The sound of another shot blasted out across the water. The men were trying to scare us into making noise and cheering ourselves. After a long time, they turned and led the house back up the gully. We kept still for another half an hour before we dared to creep back out of the swamp. There was no one running or laughing when we got back on the road. The river. We passed many days in hidden spaces in the homes and barns of people who helped us along the way. We spent many nights walking silently through the woods, cold and hungry. We had little food of our own, and had to rely on the people who helped us to give us food. Now came the hard part. We had to cross the Ohio River in order to get to freedom. Emmy gathered us in a tight circle. "You're going to have to do something that seems completely wrong," she whispered. "You're going to go to a white man and let him put you in chains. But he's going to help you. It'll look like he's captured you. No one will suspect you when he leads you across the bridge." We met the white man, Mr. Avery, just before dawn. Emmy wished us luck before she heads out again to find more enslaved people and lead them to freedom. Mr. Avery took most of our coats and packed them in a trunk. He put us in shackles. Dad looked scared. I suddenly wondered if this was all true for Mr. Avery to capture escaped enslaved people. I started to cry. I hated those chains. All I could think was how Mama's hands and feet would have been in them as they led her away. "We have to trust him," Daddy said, but his voice didn't sound so sure. Mr. Avery led us through the streets. The white people ignored us. The black people glanced quickly at us and then looked away. Mr. Avery led us onto the bridge. I was crying because I was still so afraid that he would turn us around and sell us again. But then I feel my feet touch the soft soil on the Ohio side of the river. Somehow, my tired feet could tell that I was free, and I was still in the shackles. I felt the weight of them disappear. "We did it, Daniel," Daddy said with a shaky voice. "Someday we'll go back for her." Thank you for listening. Goodbye.